Hello and welcome to Sunflower Philosophy Tarot. My name is Juliana, and today's Timeless Pick a Card reading is going to be an encouraging message for you. So, whether you feel like you are going through a tough time and you need encouragement, or you could just use some motivation to get your day going, or you just are curious about what's going to come out, I've got you, and hopefully you'll feel encouraged by the end of this reading. But before I get into it, I just want to say thank you for being here. And if you are interested in personal readings, I do offer those on our website, sunflowerphilosophy.com. And my mom and I are also certified consulting hypnotists. So if you're interested in our hypnosis services, you can also find those on our website. Links will be in the description. Now, if you're new here, you might not know this, but I like to do a little centering exercise before we get into the group selection. So if you want to stick around for that, it's like a little meditation that you can do to get in touch with your intuition before you choose your group and to just feel also just settled and more relaxed in yourself. So if you don't want to stick around for that, timestamps are in the description or the pinned comment. You can check that out and navigate wherever you want to go. But for those of you who are interested in joining me for that, let's get into it. Of course, as always, if you are driving or doing anything that requires your immediate attention, please skip this part and come back when you are ready to just take a few moments to yourself. Now, for those of you who are joining me, please get comfy, get yourself into a nice comfortable seat, or if you want to lie down, you can lie down, whatever you want to do. Just get yourself comfortable, pause if you need to take the time. Just get yourself situated. Excellent. And now that you are comfortable, now that you're ready to relax a little bit and get in touch with your intuition, feel free to close your eyes and bring your attention to your breathing. And just notice what it feels like to inhale and what it feels like to exhale. And the next time that you inhale, you can imagine that you are inhaling whatever it is that you need right now in this moment. Just inhaling that into your system, into your body, into your energy. And as you exhale, imagine that you are just releasing anything that needs to go right now, anything that you're done with, anything that needs to be released. You can release it, and you can imagine that it's being released as love, being released as positive energy back into the universe, recycled again for future use. And set the intention that as you continue to breathe and relax, that you continue to circulate more positive energy and intentions for yourself and release anything that is not serving you any longer as positive energy back to the universe. And just relax even deeper with each exhale. Just feel yourself sinking into whatever surface you're resting upon. You know that right now, this moment is just for you, and you are fully within your own energy. And it is easy for you to tap into your intuition, and you can feel within you the part of you that knows what is truly meant for you and what is not. And you feel yourself accessing that part of you now, reconnecting, coming back home to yourself, to your own energy. You are a powerful, wonderful being, and you are sovereign in your own path. You know what is meant for you, and you easily and gladly follow your intuition. You trust yourself. You know you are worthy of trust. You are worthy of contentment and happiness and relaxation. And you always find your way back to yourself, no matter what. No matter how you feel right now, no matter how you feel at any point in your lifetime. You are always you. And you always know that you are who you're meant to be, and you're where you're meant to be. Allow yourself to sink into the feeling of feeling right, just feeling and knowing that you are where you're meant to be. And you know yourself. You trust yourself on a deep level. You are safe and you are loved. And you are also ready whenever you know you're ready to receive any encouraging messages that are meant to reach you today. Fully trusting that whatever messages are meant for you will find you, and whatever is not will simply pass you by. And you can move forward into this reading and into the rest of your day with a sense of curiosity and openness, and a sense that you're being guided and you're safe and connected to the rest of the universe. In love. And now, if you are ready to move on to the group selection, we will get to that in just a few moments. But if you want to continue meditating a little bit longer, feel free to pause the video and return when you are ready. Okay, thank you for joining me for the brief centering exercise if you did, and even if you did not, thank you for being here. Either way, so happy to have you. I'm just going to go through the groups that we have today. Obviously, I mentioned we're doing encouraging messages, and I've pre-selected all the cards for each group, so once we get to your group, we're just going to get right into your message, and no shuffling today. Just wasn't feeling that. So as you can see, we have 4 groups here for you today and 4 different stones to choose from. So for group 1, we have this rough clear quartz. Yeah, it looked a little pinkish, but it's actually a clear quartz, I believe. And that's group 1. And for group 2, we have this Serenity, I think it's a palm stone or a worry stone maybe, keychain. For group 3, we have this stone that I actually, I don't remember what it is, but if you recognize it, feel free to put it in the comments below. And for group 4, we have another clear quartz, but it's smooth this time. And these are the stones that called out to me today, so hopefully one calls to you. But however you choose your group, trust in that process, trust your intuition, know that you can always pick more than one group. You can always pick one group and then decide it's not yours and pick a different one. Whatever you want to do, trust your intuition, trust yourself at the end of the day, and you will receive the messages you're meant to. You will disregard anything that you're not meant to hear, and yeah, let's give you some encouragement. Let's get over to your reading. Hi, group 1. If you selected this stone, then you're in the right place, and this is your reading with encouraging messages for you today. So whatever it is that you need to hear, I am here to encourage you, and I'm just going to get right into it because I've already pre-selected all your cards, so we're just going to flip them over and get to it. So first things first, actually, I'm going to start with the quote cards. So we have some quote cards for you. So we have this card here, and I'm going to leave the quote for a bit later. We're going to start with the images today. So we have one quote card here. We got 2. So we have also this quote card here. And then for your tarot card, we have the Eight of Swords. For your Moonology card, we have a new start is coming with the new moon. And for your feminine archetypes card, we have the Gold Digger. Interesting. Okay. Group 1. Well, it seems like you are feeling a bit stuck right now. Maybe you've been feeling a bit stuck for a while, or maybe there's a specific situation that's been on your mind or in your psyche. Could even be subconscious, but just this feeling of stuckness in general. I do feel like for most of you, it's going to be a specific thing or a specific situation in your life or feeling that's been with you for some time. And I'm feeling like for some of you, maybe for a lot of you, this is about feeling like people want, or someone in your life wants more from you than you have to give, or you have a lot of transactional relationships in your life. Maybe there's a sense of you feeling like you don't have enough to give, or feeling like other people don't have enough for you. Or you're giving too much, and there's a sense of unevenness here, which does not have to be your entire situation, but I feel like is part of whatever situation that you feel stuck in. Of course, we already have some encouragement coming out here with the new moon, a new start is coming, so this message is coming through to let you know that you're becoming aware of whatever blockages that you've been unaware of, because I feel like there's this feeling of feeling stuck, or this repetitive cycle that you've been in where you haven't been able to see through it. You haven't been able to see the truth of it. You haven't been able to see where a shift in perspective or a different course of action could set you free. And it feels like the kind of situation where once you see the truth, once you understand the new perspective that will set you free, there's no going back from that. So this new start that's coming, it's really like a fresh start, a fresh way of seeing yourself, a fresh way of seeing your situation, a fresh way of seeing life it will be refreshing for you. It will feel really freeing, really good. Yeah, with the Eight of Swords, there's always an element to it of feeling stuck, but not actually being stuck, right? Like there's something you're not seeing, a way to get yourself out of the situation that just isn't clear to you, but is very possible. And so it feels like a situation where, again, like the solution will end up being very simple, and a lot of it is a shift in perspective. But that doesn't mean that it's been easy for you to get here. It doesn't mean that you haven't struggled on the way to getting to the solution. Something being simple doesn't mean that it's necessarily easy, but I feel like once you see it for what it is, once you see this truth for what it is, or once the thing that's been stopping you, holding you back, has been revealed to you, it will be a simple change, and things will get easier from here on out. So when it comes to the two images on the back of your quote cards, I'm getting roses. Like, I sometimes see these little, like this kind of abstract image, almost like as a rose bush, like a really abstract rose bush over here. So roses could be a significant flower for you, or could hold a message for you, the color red as well. And the metaphor of gardening, or a garden, especially with roses, they grow, they're beautiful. People love them. They're symbols of love oftentimes, but they also have thorns, and you have to be careful with them when you're picking them, or if you're even just like pruning them, or I actually don't know how to, I've never like grown roses, but like I'm sure there's a whole process to taking care of them for people who are passionate about it. And I feel like this is kind of a metaphor for you and your boundaries in some way, right? Like, you are a rose, and there's something about you, about your life, that's very desirable, that maybe other people want or take advantage of. And the thorns are basically your boundaries, right? Your defenses, your ability to make people think twice about encroaching on you, about picking you, about like coming into your space. And with the card over here, this other card, which if you can see, there's like a little face inside this like kind of almost like thorny exterior, there's a sense of maybe feeling trapped in your own defenses sometimes, right? Like feeling like sometimes your own defenses get turned back on yourself. Instead of protecting you, they hurt you in some way. So let's read the quotes on the back of these cards and get more into it. So we have, but the problem with being weird was that everyone else was normal, from The Raven Boys by Maggie Stiefvater. And we have, often does hatred hurt itself, from The Lord of the Rings by J.R.R. Tolkien. Yes, okay. So I feel like what we're being set free from right now is a feeling of being taken advantage of by other people, and recognizing that any misunderstanding that another person has of you, and hatred might be a strong word. Obviously, often does hatred hurt itself. In this case, it could be about self-hatred. It could be about perhaps some of your defense mechanisms have turned inward and turned into self-hatred. But I'm also getting a message here about other people's hatred of you, or if that's too strong a word, misunderstanding or projections that they have on you, about you. Those being none of your business, and you getting revenge for any misunderstandings, or like someone else getting their comeuppance for ways that they might have taken advantage of you or anything like that. Understanding that in your situation, in your case, there's an element of like, and I don't even necessarily like, I don't really talk about karma too much. I don't like think about it too much either, but like almost a sense of like karma is kind of taking care of that. It's almost like these people's assumptions hurt themselves. These people's projections about you are reflections as well of their own issues with themselves. And you can understand this because I feel like you feel the same way. You've essentially gone through the same kind of thing. And so sometimes if you get caught up in feeling like you have to make people understand or make people pay for the ways that they've mistreated you or misunderstood you, or the idea that you think other people might have about you, getting caught up in that, it only hurts you. It doesn't hurt them, but they're also going through kind of the same thing. I feel like there are people in your life who are sort of mirroring that energy to you, and whenever they are in their heads thinking, the thing is, like, I don't know what your situation is, so in some cases it's possible these people aren't thinking these things about you, and it's all part of your own self-protection. Reject others before they reject you, so you come up with reasons why they're rejecting you, and it's not necessarily what they're even thinking about. But in the cases where that is happening, where someone else is misunderstanding you or casting their beliefs upon you that aren't true or distorted about your situation, that's a reflection, again, of their own self-hate, of their own hurt, of something within themselves that's unsettled as well. And I feel like, again, it's a mirroring thing. It's something that you've also been going through, but you are reaching a place where you are ready to release that. Especially around a particular area in your life, especially around feelings of lack, of feelings of being different. With the Gold Digger here, so this is from the Feminine Archetypes card deck, and it has light attributes and shadow attributes, or light cards and shadow cards. And also it doesn't matter what gender you are, by the way. Like, obviously these cards are just they're feminine archetypes, but they can relate to any situation, and they're contributing to a very general message here for anyone who's watching. But the Gold Digger card, so the shadow cards in general, but also the Gold Digger card specifically, is about misunderstandings around dependence, like someone being dependent on someone else's money, the archetype of the Gold Digger being a negative archetype that people ascribe to women in particular often, but this idea that, someone is like leeching off of someone else, someone's taking from someone else without giving, there's a lack of love in that kind of relationship. It's very transactional, and it's something that, while in some situations the dynamics might take place, it's also a projection that's cast upon a lot of women in certain relationships and certain roles, and it's often falsely perpetuated, or an oversimplification of people's situations, or something that people fear becoming themselves, or something that people aspire to, even if the situation that is described in this kind of relationship isn't really ideal for them. But there's a sense, with the gold digger, there's a feeling of lack, there's a feeling of dependence, and there's also negative projections of an unequal relationship in some way. And so I feel like it's possible that that is representative of some of your own feelings about yourself when it comes to feelings of lack, feelings of dependence on others, and it can also be part of the things that you fear other people think of you, but it can also be a part of, it can be a complete and total projection, right, on behalf of someone else. And I feel like if there are other people who think this kind of way about you, you would know. So if you're like, what, like, people think this about me, that's not what I'm saying. Especially because this is meant to be an encouraging message. So I'm definitely not picking up on, like, things that don't exist, right? Like, people, if you feel like this is really just part of your own inner struggle and turmoil and not what is in someone else's head about you, then trust that. But some of you might know, like, some of you might have had people insult you to your face and say things to you about whatever your life situation is that portrays some kind of jealousy, envy, judgment that simply is just not the full picture, right? And it really never is. You know, there might be some things that people throw at you that resonate with you because you feel like some part of you is worried that you are that person that they think you are. But at the end of the day, that highlights something within you that once healed, the same comment would never make you feel that way, because you simply don't see yourself in that light, right? And so again, that's honestly what's coming through, is you are learning to see yourself in a different light. You're learning to give yourself the understanding that you once relied on other people who maybe fell short of providing that understanding. Because again, I feel like it's the kind of deep understanding of yourself that only comes from you, and once you feel that deep understanding of yourself, you might see it reflected back to you more in the world, but you also don't pick up on other people's misunderstandings as much, because it doesn't matter to you, because when you understand yourself, when you give yourself the grace that you seek from other people, it's easier to receive that from other people, first of all, but it's also easier to simply turn the other cheek to people who willfully or just deeply misunderstand you, because you understand they are in the same place that you have been in. They are projecting fears of their own onto you. They don't understand your situation because they don't understand their own situation. They're understanding you from the perspective that they have about themselves. And with the new start is coming, I just feel like that's all shifting for you. You are releasing, letting go of, becoming aware of this pattern of seeing yourself through other people's eyes, and assuming the worst, not only of what other people think of you, but assuming the worst of yourself in that process. And I feel like there's an acknowledgement here that you felt misunderstood and different for a long time. But there's also an acknowledgement that you have kind of made it a point to set yourself apart. You've kind of made it a point to hold yourself separately from other people, to see yourself as different, to see yourself as strange and other. And in this way, you have perpetuated the cycle in your own way. And you're not doing that anymore. Like, that's what I feel. You are learning to see your own difference, see your own uniqueness, see the beautiful rose that you are. There's a reading that I did not so long ago where I described someone as like a beautiful rose as well, and I can't remember which one it was, but maybe that was also your group. Maybe you picked that message. Maybe someone here remembers what that reading was, and if you do, comment below, please. I would be fascinated to know if someone is here from that reading and related to it, and also relates to this message. But again, like, you're learning to see your own uniqueness, your own specialness, and allow that to actually bring you closer to other people in your life rather than separate you from other people in your life. You're allowing your uniqueness to shine a light on the uniqueness in others, and understand that there is something in everyone, in most people, somewhere, that has felt misunderstood, has felt separate, has felt alone, has felt apart from others, has felt misunderstood. And you healing that in yourself is, first of all, like, I do feel like there's an element that it's helping it heal in other people, but it's also helping you see other people more clearly, because you're seeing yourself more clearly. And it's really wonderful, actually, how this is coming about for you, because I feel like it's such an incredible relief to have uncovered another layer of yourself. Because I'm looking at on the Gold Digger card, she's holding a shovel, and in this context, I'm kind of taking that literally as, like, in terms of, like, you have, like, uncovered another layer of yourself. You've dug deeper, and you understand yourself on a deeper level, and there's infinite learning that you can do. You can understand yourself on so many different levels, and I feel like you're reaching one that will bring you to a place of more peace, especially in your relationships, because it has to do with your relationship with yourself improving. I do want to just, because this is a new deck, let's look at the Gold Digger in the booklet and see what it has to say. So there's actually a lot here, and I don't know if I'm looking. Do I want to read it all? I think I'm not going to read everything on these 2 pages. So if you want to screenshot, there are, like, little practices that you can do. There's journal prompts and things like that. You can screenshot those. I'm just going to read a couple of the sections about it. So, yeah. So the Gold Digger is a woman who is often depicted as being primarily, if not exclusively, interested in a man's wealth, social status, or material gain. Her identity is reduced to the pursuit of financial security, luxury, or power, and she is seen as manipulative or calculating in her desire to secure a prosperous partner. Her worth is defined by the wealth or status of the men she associates with, rather than her own talents, intellect, or achievements. Beneath her polished surface lies a fear of instability, abandonment, or economic vulnerability. This archetype taps into society's historical fear and shame surrounding women's financial dependence, portraying such women as greedy or opportunistic, while ignoring structural inequalities that have left women with more limited paths to power or security. Despite appearing to wield influence, the Gold Digger may feel emotionally hollow, unfulfilled, or even trapped in the roles that cost her authenticity and inner worth. At her core, this archetype reveals the painful trade-off between external comfort and internal freedom. Her story is one of survival within the patriarchal system that often rewards appearance, compliance, and dependence over autonomy. And I'm also going to read the divination section. The Gold Digger asks you to reflect on your relationship with money, materiality, power, and self-worth. Are you living in alignment with your own values or someone else's expectations? This archetype calls you to reclaim your agency, to redefine success on your own terms, and to meet your needs without sacrificing yourself. What does true wealth mean to you? What would it look like to step into abundance with integrity and self-trust? Yeah. So that makes total sense. And again, just feel free to screenshot this if you want to do any of the journal prompts or practices, or read any of the other sections on this page. Okay, and hopefully that's enough time for you to do that. I'm going to move on, but that makes total sense. There's a lack mentality that you are processing through that has to do with a lot of self-judgment and has to do with a lot of expectations that have been placed on you by society, by people around you. And it doesn't have to be specifically in the way that the gold digger describes. Like, it doesn't have to be physically about wealth or abundance like that, but it can be about expectations in of your behavior, of your role as someone who serves, who gives, who, again, like, someone here is experiencing a situation where what they give is not recognized as much as what they are perceived to take. So it's like this idea that you don't give enough, you're not enough, because you are dependent on someone else in some type of way. But like, you do give, you do bring something to the table that's just different. It's a different type of service. And people around you might not always recognize that or value it. But that doesn't mean that you can't value it yourself. And I do feel like if you felt that reflected back to you from from society, from the universe around you, again, like, you're recognizing this now, you're understanding where that comes from within yourself, and you are entering a beautiful new perspective shift that's going to change everything for you. And I feel like you're going to start seeing the evidence of your own worth reflected back to you in the way that people see you and treat you, but also in the way that you carry yourself in the world, in the way that you treat yourself. Yeah, honestly, your encouraging message here is that you are meeting yourself at a deeper level, which is allowing you to see where you've misunderstood yourself and disconnect from any projections placed on you by society, by people in your life, any projections you've placed on yourself that you've taken on as personal, and any disconnection that you felt with others because of this. Because you are connecting deeper with yourself, you're now going to connect a little bit deeper with everyone around you, and you're going to see yourself in a much more positive light. And this is all being revealed to you, and I feel like some of the results of this, some of the ways that this is going to change certain things in your life, is going to be a surprise to you. It's going to happen in ways that you might not have expected, and it's going to ultimately be a very positive shift for you. That will bring a lot of value to your life, not just in how you feel and experience yourself, but also in your relationships. And I feel like for a lot of you, there's something about your career that's going to benefit from this. Or if not, say you don't have a career, say you are someone who's financially dependent on someone else, whatever situation like that you're in will improve in that area, in some way, that will benefit you and whoever else is attached to you, is around you. Yeah, you're going to see yourself much more clearly. And I feel like you've already started. You're already on that path. And so, yeah, the blindfold's being lifted off. Clarity is coming for you. And it's going to be good. It's going to be good. Yeah. Okay. That's all I have for you, Group 1. So I hope you enjoyed that message. I hope that resonated. Please let me know in the comments what you think, how you feel about this. Was this encouraging for you? I feel like you're really starting to understand your worth on a deeper level. And it's good. You are worthy, Group 1. You are valuable, and you're understanding that. If you're interested in a personal reading, please check out sunflowerphilosophy.com. Link is in the description. And if you're interested in our hypnosis services or human design, my mom also does that. So if you're interested in that, again, all listed on our website. You can check that out. Like, comment, subscribe. Have a wonderful life. And I will see you in another reading again sometime very soon. Bye. Hi, Group 2. If you selected the Serenity Palm Stone, then you're in the right place, and this is your reading with encouraging messages that you need to hear right now. So I, as I mentioned, have already pre-selected your cards, so we're going to get right into it. I'm going to flip them over, and we're going to see what kind of encouragement we have for you today. So I'm going to start with your quote cards, and we've got this card here, and I'll flip them over in a moment to see the quote on the back. But we've got this just black background, completely black background on this card. And then for your other quote card, we have this image here of this person holding this heart. And then for your tarot card, we have the Lovers, number 6. And for your moon card, we have It's Time to Release Negativity, full moon in Scorpio. And then we have 2 feminine archetype cards. For you, we have the Bimbo and the Creatress, which in these cards, the feminine archetype cards, they've added some so the suffix s to some of the cards that wouldn't typically have them, as like it seems I think what it says in the booklet is that it's kind of reclaiming, like, you know, the ess suffix because it's used to differentiate like female from male a lot, and it's like, I don't know. It does make pronouncing some of the words sometimes a little bit harder, so like I don't know how I feel about it really, but you know, I respect it. It's just the choice of the cards creators made. That being said, though, I do really enjoy these archetype cards, and I'm excited to use them in the reading today. So let's get into your message, group 2. So, okay. Well, to start, actually, you know what? I am going to flip over your quote cards. In the first one, I wanted to talk about the images on the back, but I feel like in this one, we just need to get straight into the quotes. So for your first quote, we have, "The great storm is coming, but the tide has turned," from The Lord of the Rings by J.R.R. Tolkien. And we have, "I give him the truth. I don't ask for his. I give him mine. The shames, the fears, the desires. I have made myself vulnerable to him. I have put my soul in his hands, and he has cherished it," from A Seditious Affair by K.J. Charles. So those cards with the Lovers here, this feels like it's about some kind of misunderstanding in a relationship. It could be a romantic relationship. It does not have to be, but I'm getting the specific example of an argument or disagreement or a feeling of being misunderstood between 2 people. So when it comes to the great storm is coming, but the tide has turned, yeah, it feels like there's something that you thought was going to be a bigger deal, or maybe you did have like a big argument with someone, or maybe there is seemingly a big rift in a relationship right now, or there's something that you're afraid is going to cause that. It feels like it's not going to be as bad as you thought, or it's going to resolve a lot more easily or neatly than you thought it would. And I get the sense that it has to do with some kind of misunderstanding around you. It could be the other person in this relationship. It could be a mutual misunderstanding, but I feel like it's likely to be you and what you want to do with your life, the things that you want to create, the way that you want to live your life, being misunderstood by another person as maybe not the best option. Someone maybe not seeing your vision, not understanding where you're coming from, where we have this bimbo archetype and this creatress archetype, and the bimbo is the shadow, the creatress is the light. And I'm getting the feeling of like the example of someone who is really into something that someone else just simply doesn't understand. So the idea that, oh, like, why are you into that? That's silly. I don't get it. You know, that kind of thing. And that's what it feels like is being healed in this relationship. When it comes to full moon in Scorpio, it's time to release negativity. There's a sense of a lightening of the energy between you and also within you, where I feel like you are beginning to release a fear that this will never be resolved, or a fear that you will continue to be misunderstood. And this could be, again, like, there might be an existing disagreement in a relationship, or a feeling like this person doesn't get it, this person doesn't get me, they don't understand where I'm coming from, that has actually been vocalized and expressed in this relationship, that has maybe caused certain fights or arguments or disagreements. But it could also be you holding back in expressing your true desires and true interests to someone for fear of that kind of response. It's going to vary depending on your situation. And of course, as always, use your intuition, right? If this situation doesn't quite line up with yours, if you're not feeling like the person that we're talking about is going to change their mind or is going to be accepting or is a decent person who's willing to hear you out and listen, then this is probably not for you. And there might be different courses of action that you want to take in this relationship. But what's being expressed in this message is that vulnerability here is going to be met with understanding, with I'm going to meet you where you're at. I didn't realize you were feeling this way. Now I understand, or you know what, I'm willing to, whatever it is that's important to you, let me learn about it, let me process it, let me meet you where you need me to meet you. Because it feels like for you, you're wanting to have a deeper connection with whoever this is, where you express to them, hey, listen, whether you understand my interests or not, this is something that's really important to me, and I would really like to share it with you. Can you set aside some of your presumptions? Can you set aside any of your potential judgments and just meet me where I'm at? Because this relationship is important to me, and this, whatever it is, interest, belief, pursuit of yours, maybe for some of you, you're pursuing a certain kind of career, this is important, and I want to share it with you. I want to share this part of my life with you. And expressing that from a place of vulnerability, which means allowing your true emotions to show through, allowing your true thoughts to show through, not in a way that's necessarily accusatory or presuming any kind of reaction, but just being honest, just being clear about how you want to connect with this person, about whatever this is that's misunderstood means to you. That is going to create a much better dynamic here. And I do feel like for some of you, this could be a conversation that needs to happen. For some of you, this could be you letting go of the assumption in yourself that someone else is not going to accept something because in all this time, maybe you haven't revealed this part of yourself, and you don't actually know how they're going to react. But I do feel like there's an element of you are releasing negativity around the situation, around yourself, releasing the idea that it's always going to be this way, it's always going to be the same, no one's ever going to get it, you're not going to be supported, you're not going to be able to create your life the way you want to create it. No, I feel like the tide is turning, you are understanding that some of the conflict here, or the potential conflict here, has, and maybe most of it, has come down to your own defenses, your own difficulties with expressing your true feelings. Now, for those of you who have been misunderstood based on someone else's projections upon you, right? Someone else who's assuming, oh, well, that is just silly or frivolous, or someone who doesn't take you or your interests seriously, and they're not changing, and they are coming from a place of just maybe like, it could be like, I'm like with the bimbo as well coming through, it's that feeling of like, right, oh, that's like a silly girl thing. And like if something is feminine, something is girly, quote unquote, it's silly, automatically it's just not accepted, it's frivolous, right? You know, like that's something it feels deeply unfair and wounding, and it comes from a place of feminine things being looked down upon in society, and there's something that is, it's something that even women do to an extent, right? Perpetuate to an extent. And so in some way, if whatever you're really invested in is so tied to a piece of your identity that someone else is misunderstanding from a place of potential bigotry or something like that, this is also you releasing any part of you that's taken that on for yourself. Releasing the part of you that is bought into that idea. releasing the part of you that has put up with that kind of treatment or that kind of belief system. You are stepping into your full creative power, and you're saying, I don't care if other people think this is silly. I don't care if that person that's really important to me think this is silly. I'm going to do this anyway. And if there are boundaries you need to set with people in your life, if there are relationships that you need to step away from while you pursue this because they take away from your power, or you feel like they are inhibiting your creativity, then you may need to do so. But again, I do feel like there are people, I think in this case a specific person, who, for many of you, and if this isn't true, then seriously consider about the kind of situation you're in and whether or not it's ideal for you, whether or not it's actually the situation you want to be in. But I feel like for a lot of you, again, there's someone who is willing to meet you where you're at, who's willing to reconsider some of the preconceptions they might have had about certain things, who's willing to invest with you in something that is meaningful to you, no matter if they understand it or not. I even feel like for some people, there are people who actually want to explore whatever this is with you, and will be open to that, who would like to learn something new. And if that's not the case, if this person, whatever you're interested in isn't their bag, they'll at least support your interest in it. That's what I'm feeling. And yeah, and it does feel like there's likely some kind of conversation that needs to happen, some kind of, like, the release of negativity might be like an actual, like, emotional release, or and it doesn't have to be like necessarily with you and this person. You could be talking to someone else or friends or other people who do understand your interest first, and kind of getting some things off your chest. Maybe you're journaling, whatever that is. But, like, again, like, there's some kind of, like, letting go of this feeling that what you love is frivolous, what you love and what you want to create and what you want to do is not important or silly or stupid or misunderstood, and simply opening up about what it actually means to you. And I even, like, I even feel like this could be something that you're doing in a, I think this is very specific and not for most people in this group, but it could be you opening up about why you pursued a certain career path or business idea that is unveiling to your audience, to potential clients, or to people in your field, the deeper reason behind why you do what you do. Or just even people in your life. Like, maybe there's certain aspects of your life that have led you to the path you're on that you have never shared with anyone because they're deeply vulnerable and emotional, and part of something that a lot of people don't know about. And maybe you're opening up about that and trusting other people to receive your true story with sensitivity and care and interest. Whereas before you might have guarded it more closely, you might have felt much more protective of it because, again, like, I'm feeling like potentially putting on the mask of, like, the unbothered person who doesn't have any problems or has never been through anything difficult. But you're creating something from this place of, like, recovery or expression, wanting to be more honest about what you've actually gone through. Again, like, the things that are really that evoke a lot of emotion in you, negative or positive, right? And in creating from that place and expressing from that place, you're naturally going to unveil more of yourself to the people in your life. And in the past, that might have been really difficult. And again, there was this presumption that people wouldn't understand, wouldn't get it. That now you're coming to a place of just letting go of all of that, letting go of the feeling like you're just going to be misunderstood, that people aren't going to meet you where you're at, and you are just sharing yourself. And yes, I do feel like in many cases, or in a very important specific case, depending on your situation, this will be met with a lot more understanding than you have expected in the past. But you are also getting so much stronger in yourself that even if it's not, you will be able to handle that. And in time, any misunderstanding you meet, it won't hurt the same way. It won't hurt the same way. And even if it does, you will bounce right back. even faster than before. And I just feel like this is a place that you're naturally coming to after years of potentially healing and going through some of your own processes. I feel like this is a result of a lot of work that's gone into, that you've put into yourself and into your inner world, right? Because you have a lot going on underneath the surface. And you're no longer putting up a front of frivolity, of, I'm fine, it's not that serious. It's like, no, there are things in your life that you take seriously. There are things in your life that are really important to you. There are things that you want other people to respect because it's part of who you are, at least part of who you identify as now, and you're ready to be open about that, be honest about that, let it shine through. And yeah, and other people are going to welcome, a lot of people are going to welcome that deeper part of you, that part of you that knows more than you let on, the part of you that has experienced more than you let on, the part of you that understands the experiences that others in your life have been through. Yeah, you're going to connect more deeply with the other people in your life. And a lot of people are going to be really, really here for that. Yeah. So in this group, I didn't read the, I didn't feel the need to actually read from the book for the feminine archetypes cards, but there are some nice little like exercises in there, and there might be some other insights that you might get from the book. So I'm actually going to hold up each, like the pages for the bimbo and the creatress. So in case you want to look at the exercises, the journal prompts and stuff, or read up a little bit more about them, you can do that. So I'll hold it up and you can like pause it, screenshot it, you know, whatever you need to do for each page. So let me just, there we go. Hopefully you can see all of that. That's for the bimbo. And I'll just hold it up for 5 more seconds. Okay, and now the creatress here. There we go. So I'll just hold that up for you. Hopefully, again, you could see all of that. Okay. And I'll hold it up for 5 more seconds. Okay, so any other messages for you, my dear group 2s? I don't believe so. So yeah, your encouraging message is that you're ready to share your more vulnerable, deeper side with someone special or the world at large in a deeper way. And you will be surprised at how others can meet you on the same level, how others are open to hearing your truth, seeing your truth, understanding you on a deeper level, and seeing the things that you want to, and respecting the things that you want to create and want to do with your life on a deeper level. And you're just, you're just stepping into an era where you're feeling more confident in your expressive self, in the part of you that wants to share your true thoughts and feelings rather than putting on a mask. And it's going to improve your relationships. It's going to help you feel just more whole within yourself. And right now, I feel like any negativity that's coming up in you that's preventing you from sharing your true self, that's been doing so for a long time, if it feels like it's getting stronger, or if you're feeling a little bit more fear or doubt around this, especially say you have a specific conversation coming up that you're going to have, or a specific like release, like you're gonna like put out, I don't know, I'm getting like an artist putting out a book or something, and like you don't know how people in your life are gonna receive it because it's like a part of you, a side of you they've never seen before, revealed in your writing and things like that. Any doubts that are coming up, any fears, they're coming up to be released. And so you can trust that, you can allow them to be there, you can allow them to yourself to process through that. But just know that maybe not in every single circumstance, maybe not in every case, but in more cases than you think, in more ways than you think, it's going to be met with understanding. It's going to be met with people who do want to understand you and meet you where you're at. And anyone who does not, you're not going to be putting up with that as, you're not going to be taking that on personally, as a personal affront. You're not going to be taking that on, and you're going to be finding the people who will meet you there because you're ready to meet yourself there. Okay, excellent. I hope that was encouraging for you, group 2. Please like, comment, subscribe. Let me know how that resonated. And I would love to know if you are working on something, like if you are creative and part of like what you are like opening up about is like what you're creating or a business or something like that, or interests that you have. I'd love to know what those are. Like, I love hearing about people's interests and the things that they're like passionate about. So feel free to leave that in the comments below. And if you're interested in personal readings, I do offer those on sunflowerphilosophy.com. And then my mom and I are also certified consulting hypnotists. So hypnosis, our other services, all listed on the website. Have a wonderful life. And I will see you in another reading again sometime very soon. Bye. Hi, group 3. If you selected this stone, then you're in the right place. And this is your reading with encouraging messages for you today. So we pre-selected your cards. I'm just going to flip them over and get right into it. So I'm going to start with your quote cards underneath. So we've got this card here, and I'll flip it over in just a moment. We've got this card here. You can just look at the images on the back first. And then we've got tarot card. Your tarot card is number 9, the Hermit. And your moon card is Nothing Is Yet Set in Stone by Mutable Moon. And then we have your feminine archetypes card, which is the Hermitess. Wow! You got the Hermit and the Hermitess? Okay. Well, I did not even, like, realize that when I was shuffling out your cards, but I feel like I probably should have. So, okay. I'm definitely seeing a clear... This is definitely... It's interesting, because a lot of the groups have kind of had a similar thing going on, but like kind of we've been approaching it in different ways from different angles. But I'm definitely seeing a sort of, I don't know if conflict is the right word, but I guess we'll use it for now. Conflict between like being alone versus being with other people in connection. And with the Hermit here, you might be in a time of life where you're feeling more called to be with yourself. You're feeling more comfortable or interested in exploring your own energy, being in your own space. And for some of you, this could be new. For others of you, this could be just generally more how you are, how you tend to live your life. But I feel like there's something here about your relationships and how this will impact them or how this impacts them. But there's definitely some inner exploration that you are looking to do, or that you're just, there's just this turning inward that's happening at this time in your life. Let's read your quotes before we get any further. So I'm going to read this one first, actually, with the lone figure on it. So we have, nothing in life is easy, but that's no reason to give up. You'll be surprised what you can accomplish if you set your mind to it, from Holes by Louis Sachar. And then we have this card here with 2 people on it. And this says, maybe things can always get better between people who want to do a good job loving each other. Maybe that's all it takes. From People We Meet on Vacation by Emily Henry. Yes. Okay. So this is about, even though there's so much solitary energy here, this is about your relationships with other people. And wow, honestly, all of the groups so far have in some way been about relationships with other people and also your relationship with yourself. But in your case, I feel like, okay. So if you resonate with being already kind of in hermit mode, or kind of a hermit in a sense, being someone who spends a lot of time alone, is a very solitary soul, an individual soul, something that I feel like is coming up for you is concern about how this impacts your relationships. And perhaps it's coming up because some of you have maybe maybe you have a new relationship entering your life, new friendship, or a new romantic relationship even, or you're wanting that. Like maybe you're wanting to introduce more people into your life, but you also know that you're a very solitary soul. Maybe you have in the past had trouble keeping up friendships, or maybe you haven't experienced a lot of deep connection with others because you've always just been very much self-contained. And so what's happening here is I feel like there's some concern or doubt around how you can grow and maintain intimate relationships. And I mean intimate in any sense. It, can be romantic, but intimacy can take place between friends and family members, and in the non-sexual sense. So like emotionally feeling connected with other people. And I feel like there's a sense that the way that we're encouraging you right now is letting you know that, yes, it is very possible for you, yes, even someone like you, to have successful, deep, and rewarding relationships. Even if you feel like you're someone who's better off on your own or who is more comfortable being on your own. Now, for the people who don't necessarily resonate with always having been a very introverted, self-contained individual person, you might be stepping into an era where you're feeling called more to be with yourself, be by yourself. That could be more new to you. And so your concern could be, how are you going to maintain your existing relationships, or how are you going to continue to have meaningful relationships in your life if you're withdrawing now, if you're feeling more isolated now, or if you're feeling called to more isolation now. Is this going to negatively impact your relationships? Are you going to lose people and to be alone? And so two sort of opposite energies, but two similar messages. You are going to, yes, you can create and maintain beautiful, intimate relationships and be on your own like solitary journey. And you are allowed to take time for yourself. You are allowed to be independent, to be self-reliant, and also explore what that looks like inside of a relationship. And like arguably, a goal to strive for in committed relationships of any kind is a sense of interdependence, being independent people on your own, and then also having the ability to come to one another when you need someone to lean on, or just having resources that you can help each other with, situations where you can be there for each other, but without the weight of codependence in a way that doesn't work for you, for each individual. And of course, like, interdependence will look different for different people depending on their situations. And, there's situations where some people absolutely need to rely on other people for certain things. Like, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's going to look, again, different for other people. But I feel like in your case, there's this, again, concern of like, okay, like how can I maintain my independence and be in relationship with people? And can I also be there for other people and like not sacrifice some of my like independence, but like also learn how to weave in someone else's life into that. There's also a potential scenario here where some of you are taking time away from someone in your life or from relationships in your life. Purposefully, you are going within, you are going into hermit mode, and you're concerned, like maybe there's been some kind of conflict, right? And you're taking some time away and you haven't resolved this conflict yet, you haven't fixed anything yet. And there's a message about the conflict isn't resolved yet, but the outcome of it isn't set in stone either. We have the mutable moon here, nothing is set in stone. So it's the idea that that things can always shift for the better, things can always get better, and just because you're not actively trying to fix something doesn't mean that it's not shifting and changing, that you being who you are and you going within and shifting and changing yourself isn't shifting and changing the outside world, because it is. And sometimes time away is something that's needed, and you will know when it's time to reconnect. You will know when it's time to bring your new perspective, whatever new perspective that you're finding within yourself, by going into this space where you're just being in your own energy and you're learning more about you and how you feel and what you really want. And all of that exploration is shifting your perspective so that when you reconnect with this person or this situation, you will have a different view on it. You will know how to approach it from the person that you are now. So, yes, it is possible to be independent and discover yourself and also maintain meaningful relationships, but sometimes that does require you to go off on your own and to be by yourself and to understand yourself a little bit better. And there are people who understand that and who will be there for you no matter how long it's been, and who will be happy to hear from you no matter how long it's been. And people who aren't, they might not be your people. And maybe that's just for right now, you know? But I don't want to say, for those of you who resonate with the idea of like, oh, can I maintain all my relationships if I need more time alone? I don't want to say, yes, absolutely. No one will ever leave you in your life, and you'll be able to keep everyone in your life, because maybe that's not the case, and maybe some people are meant to fall away. Maybe some people are meant to leave your life, even if just for a time. But I have a feeling that anyone who is not meant to, you will be able to work through anything with them. And if you're doubting yourself, if you're doubting your ability to be a good friend or a good partner because of perhaps even a past of hyper-independence, of just being totally comfortable on your own, and yet you have this desire, this urge to connect more deeply with certain people in your life, and you're having self-doubts about that, know that, again, nothing is yet set in stone. So you might have some beliefs about what's possible for you, but those are not set in stone, and you can always shift those beliefs. You can always change those, and things can always get better. Things can always get better between people who want to do a good job loving each other. So when you're in your own space and your own energy, when you're in this hermit mode, when you're on your own, ask yourself, one of the things that you might want to explore with yourself is ask yourself, what does loving someone mean to you? What does it look like to you? What does it feel like to you? What does being loved, feeling loved look like to you? What does it feel like to you? And how can you bring that into your relationships when they're in your life, when you're interacting with other people? And even when you're not, you know, how you interact with yourself, how you treat yourself. And it might not be easy. It might not be easy. Yes, especially I feel like this is for my people who are like, okay, no, either way, whether you're like kind of disconnecting a little bit from the rest of the world and going more within, and you're not used to that, and you're worried about your relationships and other people in your life, or if you're someone who is looking to connect more, or like, again, like enter a relationship when you maybe never had one and you're used to just being on your own. No, it might not be easy for you, but again, that's no reason to give up. And you'll be surprised at what you learn about yourself in this new context. You'll be surprised, like sometimes people understand that something in their life isn't working anymore, and so they want to change what they're doing, change their life, and they take a step towards changing that, and sometimes there's this expectation that just changing that one thing will be like, will click everything into place, and suddenly everything will be better and it'll be perfect and everything like that. But sometimes that's not how it happens. Sometimes you take a step towards change and it's still hard. It's just maybe difficult in a different way. Or maybe there's still some things that you're working through, learning through, even if you've changed your situation. But just because something is difficult, just because something doesn't make life easier immediately, doesn't mean that it's not worth it. And there is reward in the uncertainty there, the doubt there, navigating that, understanding yourself on a deeper level, whether you're understanding yourself in relation to someone in a way that you've never been before, or you're understanding yourself in relation to just being on your own in a way that you've never been before. There is value in that experience. It might not always be easy, but you have what it takes to get through it. And I feel like there's a tendency maybe in you right now to lack some faith in yourself, doubt yourself at times. But with the mutable moon here, this is reminding you nothing is yet set in stone. There is nothing that says that you can't do this. There is nothing that has sealed your fate. You are also not stuck in this cave here. Like, I'm also getting the idea of like you going into a cave to hermit yourself and then being sealed away and stuck there. It's like, no, you're not stuck there. You can, if you're going to isolate yourself for a time, or not isolate, that may be dramatic, but like, be on your own more. If you're committing more to a lifestyle that's you, yourself, and you, that doesn't mean that you're never going to go back out into the world. That doesn't mean you're never going to feel comfortable around people again. But this is just the era that you're in right now. And for those of you who are kind of experiencing the opposite shift, where you're connecting more with people, or you're connecting with someone in a different way than you did before, that also doesn't mean that, you've got to be around people 24/7 now, attached to the hip at all times. No. A good relationship can involve alone time, can involve, and arguably should, but everyone's different, can involve you still having your own say and your own independence, and you can work with someone else to uncover how that's going to work for you in your relationship. And that in and of itself will be a rewarding experience, because you will have the ability to see yourself, understand yourself, and other people in a new way that, again, might not be easy. Either way, it might not be easy, but yeah, you've got what it takes to have a successful experience, and I feel like if you're doubting whether or not this is the path for you, but you're feeling drawn towards it, and you just feel like, your mind might not be able to square it with the kind of person that you've been in the past, but something in you is drawing you in this direction, and this is the way you want to go, then trust that. Know that doubts are natural, but it's a mental process for you, and know that you can have faith in yourself, that you can explore something new, explore a different dynamic, and maintain your sovereignty, maintain your sense of self, but also evolve your sense of self. Evolve what you thought made you, and know that can always change. There's always, yes, I feel like what the bottom line is, whatever your situation is, there's a sense of self that is evolving in you. Your sense of self is evolving, it's expanding, it's changing, it's shifting. And so there's some fears and doubts around, like, I thought I was this one way, but what if I'm not? Am I changing who I am? And this is a reassurance to you that, first of all, yeah, it can be a little bit off-putting to suddenly realize that you want something different than what you've always wanted in your life, and maybe you felt more secure, you felt secure in your identity, and now you're questioning certain elements of it. I feel like for a lot of you, it's almost like a low-key underlying experience, not necessarily something big and dramatic, but something you're slowly realizing over time, or something that's slowly creeping up on you, and you still have some doubts and reservations. But this is a reminder that your identity is not set in stone, and it's natural for it to evolve and change over your lifetime. So that's what you're going through right now. And it doesn't mean that whatever you're feeling drawn towards now in your life will always be who you are from here on out. But there's always going to be, there's some essence of you that will always be you. And anything that changes and evolves over your life was never you, but was just something that you were experiencing, going through and exploring. And so you will never lose yourself. You are always you. You will always be you. But who you are, what you truly are, is less tangible than maybe you thought. And so you're the person that you are in this lifetime, whatever your spiritual beliefs are or are not, the person that you are in this lifetime is meant to grow and change and evolve. And just because you experience different things and you try on new identities, it doesn't mean that you lost any part of yourself. You still always just are you. You just are you. There's a part of you that is unchanging. But there are the rest of you is free to change and grow however you see fit. And so whatever you're experiencing right now is natural, and you are capable of this change. And I feel like you are going to be deeply rewarded through whatever exploration you're going through. again, whether you're kind of like isolating yourself more or you're exploring relationships on a new level, it's going to be rewarding for you, and it might not be easy, but I feel like it's going to be a little bit easier than you thought. I feel like it's going to be like more enjoyable than you thought. And I feel like what's really happening right now is just you're moving over the hump of like your resistance to this change, to this shift. Once you get over that hump of resistance, it's like, again, like there might be like work involved, but I feel like it's going to be more enriching and rewarding, and there's going to be more smooth sailing is the word that's coming to mind. It's going to be more smooth sailing than you thought. But again, there's like an initial storm, an initial resistance that you're shifting through, and you're going to come out the other side and realize that this is where you're meant to be right now, and you're happy with the choice you've made. I almost forgot group 3. I've been showing the other groups the page from the Feminine Archetypes card deck for whatever card they got, because there's just some exercises in there and there could be some other information that's useful for you. So I'm just going to open up to the Hermitess now and just give you some time to screenshot the page if you'd like, just because I feel like some of the prompts or the exercises can be really useful. So I'm going to do that, and you can take a picture. Let me just make sure you could see it. Okay, so I'll just keep this open for a little bit. All right, 5 more seconds. Okay, so that's all I've got for group 3. I hope you enjoyed this reading. Please like, comment, subscribe. I would love to know how this resonated with you below, especially like which storyline you sort of resonated more with. And if you're interested in personal readings, we do offer those on sunflowerphilosophy.com, link in the description. And my mom and I are also hypnotists, and mom does human design. So if any of the other services are also listed on our site, you can check those out. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful life, and I will see you in another reading again sometime very soon. Bye! Hi Group 4, if you selected this stone, then you're in the right place, and this is your reading with encouraging messages for you. So I pre-selected your cards. I'm just going to flip them over, and we're going to get right into it. So I'm going to flip your quote cards first. Actually, you got 3. Yeah. Actually, I'm going to put them this way up, and then we'll get to the quotes. So we have these otters here. We have this person with rainbow hair, and you also have the stack of books with a bow on it. Then we have your tarot card, which is the 2 of Swords, and we have your moon card, which is luck is on your side, new moon in Sagittarius. And then we have your feminine archetypes card, which is the delicate flower. Okay. So your encouraging message today, first of all, definitely centers on stepping into your empowerment in some way. Feeling and seeing yourself as empowered in some way that you maybe struggled to before. And I feel like there's a lightheartedness that's coming into your life. A lightheartedness and a sense of fun, a sense of enjoyment that you may have struggled to access for a little while. I'm also getting a message here that some people, I mean, this could be, just if I don't say it in another group doesn't mean it's not your group, but I'm getting a specific message here as well, that some people here could be specifically in the LGBTQ plus community. So if you resonate with that, that could just be a confirmation for you. But let's get more into your message today. I'm going to flip over your quote cards and read them, and then we'll talk about it. So for this card here with the otters, we have the quote, "We are game-playing, fun-having creatures. We are the otters of the universe," from Illusions by Richard Bach. Then we have this book card here with the quote on the back being, "It's a good idea to have your own books with you in a strange place," from Inkheart by Cornelia Funk or Funke, I'm not sure. And then we have this card here with the rainbow hair, and the quote on the back says, "I didn't know how much I didn't know," from Anne with an E. Okay, so group 4, you are being encouraged to, okay, I feel like there's some situation in your life where you don't know which way to go, you don't feel like you have a solution to something, you maybe don't see the light at the end of the tunnel quite yet, or the way something's going to resolve. What path you need to take, what step you can take to resolve something, to fix something, to change something. But you're being encouraged to remember that there is a lot that you don't know. So there's almost this feeling of like, you feel like you don't have any options, but that's because they haven't been revealed to you yet. You don't see all the possibilities yet. And there's a way in which, first of all, reading might help. So reading, and I don't mean like, if there's a specific issue that you're dealing with in your life, yes, maybe reading or books or watching videos related to that could help. But if you've been kind of really focused on whatever situation it is, specific situation, and you feel like you haven't come across anything useful or new or helpful, it's not just about focusing on the situation at hand, but also like being open to like epiphanies, advice, guidance from unexpected places, you know? Like maybe you don't need to read a nonfiction book right now. Maybe you need to read a fiction book. Maybe you need to read a fantasy book. Maybe you need to read something or look into something that doesn't even necessarily have any relationship directly to whatever it is that you're unsure about, but might inadvertently provide you with some kind of clarity or direction that you didn't expect to come from that arena. And so I feel like you're being encouraged to, especially if you've been like really like dwelling on like a conundrum, a confusion, something that you're confused about, you're unsure about, you're like, I don't know how to solve this, I don't know how to fix this, I don't know what the right answer is, and you've been really just like trying to figure it out. It's like letting go of that and allowing yourself to instead move towards the things that inspire more lighthearted energy in you, that are more fun and interesting to you. Just take a break, take a step back from the things that feel heavy and confusing, and move towards something that feels fun. And you might be surprised at what comes out of that experience, what comes out of that exploration. So like the example I'm coming up with is, I am currently reading a book about Druidry, and I've looked into Druidry before. I have some materials that I've used to study it, and I put it aside for a little while, and I'm coming back to it, and I'm just coming back to it for fun. But it's one of those things where like I might be reading, the book on Druidry, and there's something in there that triggers something in me that like, I'm like, that way of being or thinking could help me with my business, or could clarify like some internal issue that I'm having. And so I feel like that's the kind of experience that you are going to have, where you're going to realize that like taking time away from whatever it is that you're focusing on trying to figure out, and engaging with something that's more lighthearted and fun and just like for the sake of curiosity, is going to like, you're going to come across the information that you need, or the time away is going to make it so that when you come back to whatever it is that you've been trying to figure out, the solution is going to be more obvious, or there's going to be some resolution might have even come through that you didn't expect to come through when you were actually when you were out, when you weren't looking at it. I'm being reminded of when I used to work in a place where a workplace where I had to solve tickets for people. And there were times when I would get a ticket in and I would just feel so overwhelmed. And I have maybe a lot of other ones on my plate. And I'd look at it initially and I'd be like, I don't even know how to resolve this. Like, this is such a weird one. How could I don't even know what to do. But, maybe I couldn't get to it right away. So I focused on other ones. And then maybe I went to lunch or took a break. And then I came back to it and it was resolved. Like, I didn't even have to do anything. There was something that came in that was unexpected that fixed the issue. Or I came back to it and I was like, oh, wait, I think I know how to fix this. And because I'd taken a break, because I'd stepped away, because I was focused on something else, it just clicked into place for me. And so this is your encouragement to not let whatever it is that's been on your mind get you down any longer, to take that step away, take that break. Luck is on your side, so I feel like some unexpected resolution or news is going to come up that's going to completely change your relationship with whatever the situation is. And for this group, I actually do want to read what it says in the booklet for the Delicate Flower for your feminine archetype card. So I'm going to do that. I haven't been reading that for every group, but I am going to show you also what the booklet says, because I'm not going to read every section of it. So you can screenshot the exercises and the journal prompts if you want, and do them on your own time. But let me read what it says under the delicate flower and the divination section. So, delicate flower, also known as the sickly woman, the high maintenance woman, the invalid. The delicate flower represents a woman seen as fragile, needy, or emotionally unwell, someone who cannot cope without constant care, validation, or protection. She may be infantilized, patronized, or dismissed as too sensitive or too much, and is often burdened by the projection that she is a drain on others. Her emotional vulnerability may come from the very real wounds, unmet needs, chronic invalidation, or a life of being overprotected or underestimated. She may have learned to survive and feel safe by staying small and dependent. This archetype reflects how society often pathologizes feminine sensitivity, painting emotional expression or illness as weakness. It also reveals how some may internalize the belief that they are too broken, too sensitive, too feeble, or too much of a burden to stand alone. The divination message for this card says, this card invites you to explore any internalized belief that you are too weak or a burden. Have you felt defined by your pain, fragility, or need for support? Have you needed to gain care or connection through illness, helplessness, or emotional volatility? This card may speak to themes of neediness present in your life. The delicate flower archetype challenges you to gently disentangle from any learned helplessness and fears that your needs make you unlovable. You are not broken, you are sensitive, and there is strength in your softness. You can be tender and powerful. You can receive care and hold your own. If you haven't screenshotted it yet, feel free to do so. And I'm going to put it down now. Okay, yeah. So again, there's this sense, okay, yeah, that makes total sense, because I feel like whatever the situation is, you feel helpless in it in some degree. And it's going to vary for everyone, the severity of whatever we're talking about, where like how helpless you feel. Maybe it's only a little bit helpless. Maybe it's like really helpless. Maybe it's a very specific situation. Maybe it's like a repetitive experience that you've been going through. Whatever this relates to in your life, though, there's an element where, again, you are coming into a space of empowerment where you're learning to not dwell on the things that make you feel helpless, and rather understand that you can disconnect from the situation to get a different perspective, that there are solutions available to your situation, and that sometimes you also need to separate yourself from the story that's coming up within you about the situation. Yes, because that's the thing, right? Is that when you're stuck in that helpless mindset of like, I don't know what to do, I don't know how to solve this, I don't know how to fix this, you're perpetuating the idea that you don't know, that this is a problem that you need to solve and you don't have the answers. But when you can step away and disconnect from that energy for a moment, when you can put your focus somewhere else, that can free up the energy to move and change the circumstance, change the situation. And so whenever you find yourself stuck in this helpless place of dwelling, of being stuck in the moment of the problem, if you can move yourself out of the mindset of the problem, of that taking over your life, play a game, have some fun, or just simply turn your attention to something else for a while, that can free up the situation to move and change, right? Because I'm getting the feeling of someone who's dwelling, who's stuck in like just the cycle of like, I don't know what to do, so I can't do anything. So I don't know what to do, so I can't do anything. And it's just moving out of that. This is your permission slip to like put it down. Whatever it is that you're puzzling over, put it down for a second. Put it down, go do something fun. That's what I'm feeling here. And that's going to make a difference for you. That's going to shift your energy dramatically. Again, there might be some reading that you want to do. There might be a show you want to watch, a video you want to watch. There could be solutions that you can... This is also a case where if you feel guided to, if you feel called to break yourself out of this loop, maybe you don't want to completely stop focusing on the thing, but maybe you want to acknowledge that you have not explored every avenue yet. So the initial response of, I don't know what to do, I don't know how to fix this, I need to fix this, that you got, it makes you feel like you have no solutions, that there's no possible information that's going to help you, that there's no one who's going to help you. But if you're honest with yourself, if you take a step back for a moment, you can recognize that you have not looked into every possible source of information. You haven't looked into, you haven't asked people in your life, you haven't found different, unique perspectives. You haven't actually done the research. And once you do look into it, you might be surprised at what you find. You might be surprised at how simple the fix could even be. You might be surprised at how many options there are to fix it, right? It's like once you acknowledge that you actually are capable, that there is something you can do about this, the floodgates open up and all of the possible answers to your problem enter your life. They become available to you because you're open to them. So either way that you choose to go about this, it's really just like whatever's calling to you, whatever you feel like you can handle right now, whatever feels like the better response for you. But whatever way that you choose to go about this, like you are stepping into a sense of empowerment of like, wait, no, there is something I can do about this. Or wait, no, I don't need to handle this right now. I'm going to take a step back and come back to it later. I'm going to choose to step out of this energy of, I don't know, I feel helpless, I feel stuck, I feel lost. And I'm going to choose to go focus on something that can help me get my mojo back, you know? Just take my mind somewhere else. And it's going to do wonders for your situation, but it's also going to just do wonders for your sense of self, because you are capable. You are a capable human being, all right? You can handle yourself. You can handle your situation. And just because maybe you feel pressured to handle it in one certain way or in a certain kind of time frame doesn't mean that that's right or necessary for you. And there are other ways you can go about it that are more aligned with you, that are going to bring you a sense of peace and a sense of power within yourself. And you are well within your rights to handle things in that way. So there's also the possibility that you're facing external pressure. This needs to be solved now. What do we do? What do we do? What do we do? Can you set a boundary? Can you say, listen, I feel like in order to resolve this, I'm going to need to take a step away. I need to take a step back. I need to go get in a better mindset. And when I come back, I'll be ready to handle this. I'll be ready to talk about solutions. But I need that time for myself. And know that you're also well within your rights to do that. And so if you can bring that sovereignty into the situation, and because sometimes you're also, maybe someone else is perpetuating that feeling in you as well. Maybe someone else is in that mindset and you're also feeling that, but it's time for you to take your power back either way and just say, no, this is going to get solved. I know what I need to do, or I know there are steps I can take, or I know that I can take a step away right now and come back to it later and it'll get resolved. But right now I'm just not in the mindset to do that. Or I've been perpetuating a mindset where I feel like I don't have a solution, but that's not the case. Because yes, this will get resolved. You know how to do this. You can handle this. You can handle this. And you get to do that in any way that actually resonates with you, okay? You don't have to force anything. You don't have to force yourself to make something happen right now or make it happen in a certain way. There are plenty of avenues through which this can get fixed. Some of them might involve your direct action. Some of them might not. Just let go of the reins a little bit. Even if you feel completely out of control, it's because there's like a sense of over controlling that's happening here. It might be a little bit covert because it might seem like you're paralyzed and not and just not doing anything, and you're like, well, I just feel like I don't have even control over myself. It's like, yes, because you feel like you have to have a certain kind of control. You feel like things have to happen in a certain way. You feel like you have to do things in a certain way. You're putting certain expectations on yourself. No. We're stepping back from that. You've got this. You've got this. Whether you directly resolve the situation or not, or things resolve themselves, or something new happens and it changes the next steps that you want to take in the situation, you got this. It's going to be okay. But you get to choose how you go about this. And some of you are ready to take a step away, and some of you are going to explore possible solutions that you've been avoiding or that you haven't looked into because maybe you were afraid that it was going to be too overwhelming. You're going to go one step at a time, and something's going to click. Something's going to click for you, and it'll be okay. It's going to be okay. You've got this. You do. I believe in you. Okay. Yeah, it's going to work out. Everything's working out, okay? All right. Okay, group 4. So that is all the messages I have for you today. I hope that was encouraging for you, and feel free to let me know in the comments how that resonated, if there's anything you want to talk about with your situation, or just even if you want to like distract yourself from your situation, or get your mindset in a different place. Maybe drop a comment about something that really interests you, that's fun for you, a book you're reading, a show you're watching, whatever it is. Feel free to comment about that. Bring that to the situation. Yeah, like, comment, subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. If you're interested in personal readings, we do offer those on sunflowerphilosophy.com, link in the description. And my mom and I are certified consulting hypnotists, so we also do hypnosis services if you're interested in those, also listed on our website. And my mom does human design, so you can check all that out in the link in the description. Have a wonderful life, and I will see you in another reading again sometime very soon. Bye!